Tonight we're going to talk about propagation beacons, which are a great way to test the water out there to see how you're able to receive stations from around the world. In just a few minutes, you can really see what's going on. And we're going to talk about two different beacon methods, one that he uses and one that I found, and we're going to go through all that here in just a few minutes. Then after that, I'm going to go through the top 15. It was supposed to be the top 25, but I ran out of time. Top 15, go behind the curtain there. Top 15 things that you should do when you become a ham radio operator. And I'm hoping that some of you older guys can help some of the newer guys in here tonight. We had 3 or 4 new guys in here last week, some KOs and KMs and some newer guys. And I'd like to help you guys out with a little bit of information. And then I'm going to go back and we'll repackage this for a little short that we'll do later. But I want to show you guys what I would suggest would be the first 15 things I would do for a new ham. So we're going to do that right after propagation beacons. Then after that, we're going to go through the news and all that stuff. We're going to do open lines. We're going to see if anybody else has a topic that they have that they want to go over, and then we'll end it out there, and I'll pass out. And that's kind of how we're going to do the order of things tonight. I had a new paid program this week, and when you have a new client in and to record, I had a brand new client in that had never recorded shows before, so it's been a rough week. I mean, it's lots of editing, lots of working with the client to get that first show just right, and so I'm very tired too, Joseph. I feel you. I get it. So there you go. All right. Let's see. Joseph, do you want to take it away with what you got there, or do you want me to start with the slideshow I got here, or what do you want to do?
You can do the slideshow and I'll talk.
Okay, let's do that. I've only got you added a few too, so let's go through what we got here. I think it starts out with the beacons that I showed you on the website there, which we can show that website too if you want at some point.
Yeah, there wasn't that much information about beacons. They're kind of a simple concept, but I did find some information about them, and I'm gonna set one up here soon, so I do have a little bit to talk about with these things, so should be fun. Yeah.
All right, here, let me go. There we go. That's what we're gonna do. I just went through all that. Let's go to the next one here. Next slide. There we go. I think therefore I had. Okay, propagation. Here we go.
Yeah. So radio propagation beacon. They set these up, and it's mainly for testing out what the atmosphere is doing. They have them on pretty much every single band, so you can go to whatever band that you want to figure out how well it's working. And like that website we looked at earlier, if you can tell which parts of the world signals are coming in from, sort of like that APRS website where you can see the red lines and everything where there's propagation. This is kind of a way to do that for HF. And so you can kind of get a feel for where stuff is coming in. And you can see here that there's actually a international beacon project, this whole thing that people set up, which is really cool. 24 hours a day, there are these beacons sending out transmissions at different power levels. They start out at 100 watts, then they send in degrading power, they go down to 10 watts, then 1 watt, then 100 milliwatts. And then the beacon, each station actually changes frequency and goes on to the next band and does the same thing over again. And you can see in the little map there, they're all over the world, and it's actually pretty cool. There's a KH6RS is out there in the middle of the ocean. That's pretty cool. ZL6B is also kind of out there in the ocean. We only have
Hawaii, or that might be Hawaii.
I think that is Hawaii.
It might be, yeah.
Yeah, that looks like Hawaii.
Which is definitely out in the middle of the ocean. You
Yeah.
don't get any more out in the middle of the ocean than Hawaii.
Yeah. I just noticed that we only have looks like one beacon in America, and that's over in New York.
On this particular system.
That's right. On this IARU International Beacon thing, we only have one. It's in New York. And then there's one in Canada, it looks like, and one all the way up in What is that? North Pole? That's pretty cool.
Here's your
Um,
website, guys, right here.
Santa Claus.
yeah, there you go. There's the website.
I didn't
And
know Santa Claus.
ncdxf.org/beacon. That's pretty cool. But these are just the ones that have been set up for um, by like professionals, like being set up purposely for this. There's a ton more of these by just regular amateurs who want their own beacon. I pretty much talked about this. Yeah, so they're on 14.100 and then 18.110 and then 21.150 and then 24.930. And then the other one is on, I think that's 10 meter, 28.200 megahertz.
Yeah.
A lot of beacons are on 10 meter. Apparently 10 meters like the big beacon area for some reason from a couple of places I've read. There's quite a few beacons on 10 meters.
Well, if 10's working, the atmosphere is helping. I know that for a fact. Because 10 can be dead as hell for weeks.
Oh yeah. Same for 11 meter. Yeah, it's exactly.
But I hear from folks 10 can be a really fun band. So
they call it the magic band, don't they?
I can't wait. Yeah, it's 6 mostly, but 10 also.
Yeah. 6 and 10. I heard 10 a while ago.
10 has all the 10 has a lot of the same propagation characteristics as 6, and it also does the magic band thing.
So, I see.
And this particular one here, this particular beacon network, the one we're talking about right now, started back in '79. It's actually been around for a while. But you guys understand what he's saying? It actually when it goes each time it's beeping whatever it's saying, it beeps it at less wattage, less wattage, less wattage, less wattage. So you're listening to this thing and it's going and you can tell how much of that signal is getting through. If all you hear is then you know it's getting to use 100 watts. That's it. It's got to be all the way up to get to you. So that I think that's pretty cool. It's not just giving you can you hear it or not, but it's giving you can you hear us or not at 4 different wattages each time around, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is really cool and smart too. This is really interesting. I'm glad people have done this. It's really awesome.
You want to run through your slides, your 2 slides here, and then I'll go back and show them the website, or do you want to do the website first?
We'll go through this first, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've been wanting to set one of these up recently. The new house we're moving into actually is ideal for my amateur radio things that I want to do. I have a perfect place to mount antennas where they're shielded from the street so the HOA can't complain. So I'm really excited. I'm going to have a bunch of stuff. And one of the things I decided I wanted to set up was a beacon. Now, I am kind of weird. I really like the WWV time station. I just like the noise it makes. Most people would probably think I'm weird for that, but I just will listen to it for hours sometimes. And I'm like, hey, beacons have hardly any rules. The only real regulation is that you can't go over 100 watts. You don't have to have a set transmission schedule. You could do 100% duty cycle if you want, where it's always transmitting, or you can do a Morse code thing like most of them do. Most of them just do Morse code ID and then several long dashes for a minute or whatever, and then they ID again. And you can even put these on a directional antenna, which I was kind of surprised to hear. But yeah, you can do whatever you want as long as you're within the allocation, which I have on the next page. You can do pretty much whatever you want. So what I'm going to do here, once I get moved in, is I'm going to put up an antenna, just an omnidirectional 2-meter antenna, because I've always wanted to be able to receive the time station on my handheld. And, I looked into doing that a while ago. I was like, is there any legal way I can retransmit this thing, at least for short range? And there's not really any legal way to have a broadcast besides a beacon. So my plan is, and this is going to kind of segue into this little website that I found here that I think is really cool. Let me share my screen here. I'm going to set up my own time station essentially on 2 meters. And I found this website during my research. I was trying to figure out, the legalities around retransmitting a radio station, and you cannot rebroadcast WWV, even a recording of it, without leaving the entire transmission intact, which means it would say, this is radio station WWV, which would be incorrect. It would actually be the KM4OVZ station. But all of that can be avoided by using this, which I just can't believe this exists. It's a WWV sound simulator. Someone actually made this When you hit play, I don't know if y'all can hear it, but it's
coordinated universal time.
it's literally the WWE station
Oh, that's so cool.
just recreated using I think it's using JavaScript. So it's got the time here, and you can choose whether you want WWV or WWH because they actually use two different voices. But all I have to do is just pipe this audio into a transmitter, and I have my own little time station, and it doesn't have the ID in it. The only thing that would relate it to the actual time station is that it sounds similar. It's not 100% the same. There are minute differences, but so it's all legal because this is not copyrighted. This is just tones and clicks encoded into a following the specifications put out by the station. So I can send this, and I actually have it downloaded too. They provided the website, and I have it saved to the computer so I can host it locally. But that's what I'm going to do is make myself a little time station, and then I'm going to have it so that every minute it'll interject with my call sign in Morse code. Pretty easy to do. I'll probably have it running on a Raspberry Pi or something. The only troubling thing, and that's another topic I have on one of these other slides, is getting a transmitter that can do 100% duty cycle. But I have a plan for that as well. My plan is go ahead.
You're probably going to have to buy something that's designed for that.
The problem is
the radios we have, even if you cool them properly, they're not designed for that.
You're correct.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is you buy a regular radio and you crank the power way back.
Yep. The plan right now is to take because I can run this thing. The antenna will be nice and high off the ground. And I'm only trying to receive it in a relatively local area. So what I'm just going to do is set this up probably with a Baofeng or another radio. I have a couple other radios here that I don't use very much. And I'm going to take the Baofeng apart, and I'm going to put a heat sink right on the final. Like I'm going to put a little miniature heat sink like right on the final. And then I'm going to have like a couple fans blowing across it. And it's literally going to be cooled to the maximum. And then I'm just going to have that on lowest power setting, which is like 500 milliwatts or whatever. And that I think that would probably be able to handle constant transmission.
Refrigerator.
There you go. Yeah, put it in the fridge. I need a little mini fridge in my room to put all my hot equipment in.
That's a good idea.
It would make the room hot, though. You'd be surprised just how hot a room gets with this computer I have in here. It gets really hot. But yeah, you got you could use and you can use like a mobile radio, like the Yaesu 8900 or something. You can use a radio like that. You just have to put the power way down and then get some extra fans blowing across it, and you should be able to get 100% duty cycle without too much of a problem. There's no mechanical limitation. The only limitation is heat dissipation. That's the only limitation with having a high duty cycle radio. I wanted to get just a simple transmitter, but they don't really make them for amateurs. You'd have to buy like a repeater. And those are really expensive, and it would be kind of overkill for this. But that's what my solution is going to be, I guess. If we have the slide, if we can you bring the slideshow back up? I have
Yep, I got it.
I think I have 2 more slides.
Are you going to do it FM or SSB?
I'm going to do it FM because that's the only thing my handheld can receive. And it's kind of funny. I did a test today, and the signal looks almost identical.
Too bad you can't identify as WWV FM.
That'd be cool. I have to get my own special vanity call.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So the frequency allocations, going back to normal operations, besides my endeavors here, 220 meters, which is like almost, I think it's like a few kilometers.
2,200 meters?
Nah, it can't be kilometers. 2,200 meters is one of the ham bands.
2.2K.
Yeah, 2.2 kilometers.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a long, you have to make a really big antenna for that.
Yeah, that's a big ass.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, here I have all the allocations. You can see the
that's
220.
0.135 megahertz, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
135 kilohertz. So each beacon allocation is pretty small. You can see this is only, what is that? 10 kilohertz?
Boy, a half wave on that would still go all the way up to the store.
Yeah, it
Look
would.
at the WWVB site. It'd show you how to do that.
Yeah, they're on 60 kilohertz. They've got a really big, they got a whole field. Yeah. So yeah, 2.2 kilometer band, 135 kilohertz, 135.7 kilohertz actually, and it goes up to 137.8. 1700 meters here is at 160 to 190 kilohertz. It's usually a pretty small allocation for beacons, but that's not really surprising considering that in any given area there aren't really that many. So it's not like you're competing for band space. That's another reason why I'm wanting to put this up, is because in my area there's no beacons, no 2-meter beacons. So it's not like I'm stealing valuable bandwidth from somebody. And if we don't use it, we lose it. So got to keep that in mind. People ask me like, "What's the point of your beacon?" Well, I'm keeping the band open for you. You're welcome. We got on 10 meters here, 28 megahertz to 28.2. 6 meters is 50 to 50.080. And then 4 meters, which is interesting. 4 meters is one of those bands no one ever uses, 70 megahertz. It's actually popular in Britain, I think, in the UK.
That's
Yeah,
legal over
most
there.
of Europe now. It is a popular band.
Yeah,
Is it not allowed here?
No, it's
No,
not.
no,
on
it's
our
not
band.
allowed.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, in the United States.
Okay.
No, those channel Nazis in DC won't let us use it.
Well, we have 220.
Just kidding,
which is
guys.
apparently-
Just kidding.
Yeah, it's interesting. Radio waves are interesting how they have to be regulated because there's a limited amount of it. I think we're lucky to have anything at all at this day and age.
I actually agree with you, to be honest.
We're very
I
lucky
don't
to have as
I
much
don't
as we
say
do.
it very loud, but I actually agree with you.
Yeah, we kind of pioneered a lot of the radio stuff, but now we're kind of obsolete. And yeah, we're pretty lucky to have what we have. 2 meters, 144.275 to 144.300. We got about 15 kilohertz in there. I think an FM carrier is what, 12 kilohertz? How much is an FM carrier?
12.5.
12.5 kilohertz. There you go. So I got to check actually and make sure I'm not stepping on anybody when I set this thing up.
Oh, you can use narrow FM, which is only 8.
I could use narrow FM. That's a good idea. That would be better. I'll look into that. I just don't know if it's going to sound worse, you know? It probably won't sound as good,
Well,
but then
it
again,
won't
that
sound as good. It may not. I don't know if it'll affect your range though as well. I mean, yeah.
it might actually make it better. Because if you're concentrating, I don't know, you're turning down the power anyway. Maybe it won't.
You're over my pay grade.
70 centimeters. We have 432.300 to 432.400. So we actually have 100 kilohertz there. It's a little bit more. And then I didn't put this in here because there's like 30 more allocations, but microwave up in like 900 megahertz, 800 megahertz, 1.2 gigahertz, all the way up there, and all the different gigahertz bands that we have available to us. We have beacon allocations. So, you could, if you want to set up a 5 gigahertz beacon that, only 2 people in the entirety of America will be able to receive, go for it. That'd probably be difficult. You have to build all your equipment, I think, from scratch if you're going to do something way up there. But it's possible. We have the permission to do it.
I want to mention there's also allocations in just about every other ham band too. There's 80, 40, 30, 20. They're all the way through there too.
30 is a favorite place to put beacons up on the top of the band. 10150 just below there.
To check that out. Yeah. I wish I had put more in here, but it was getting kind of full. So
can you guys hear my FT8? You guys can't hear that, right?
No,
No,
I don't
we
hear
can't hear
anything except your voice.
I don't normally play FT8 while I'm on the show, but he was talking and the Cape Verde Islands popped up, so I was trying to. I can't help it. It's an addiction, man.
And to say the FTA rehab.
About propagation, Cape Verde Island.
Oh man, this guy loves his FT8, man. That's all I got.
And we're going to talk about it in just a little while. One of the guys that created it just passed away, Silent P. So I'll be discussing that in a little while. But
Yeah, how about that? Why don't you set up an FT8 beacon?
We could do that, I guess.
There is a mode in FT8 called Whisper that I haven't messed with.
Oh yeah, we got to do Whisper.
You're gonna do that. Yeah. That's
Whisper, I've heard amazing things about Whisper. It's
Yeah,
like
I wanna mess with
FT8.
that.
It's like, you know how voice compared to FT8, FT8 does way better, but like Whisper compared to FT8, Whisper, you can transmit using a wet noodle and it'll get all the way over to Europe.
Oh yeah.
You know, some guys actually did that.
No, I'm not doing what you say. Go out.
There's some guys that handmade a big old long piece of pasta and loaded it and talked to the guy down the street just to prove he could do it.
They had to use like a crazy amount of power though, so it was still kind of a fail.
No, you don't. We, oh golly, this is 30 years ago, but we actually made a dipole out of a wet piece of string on 6 meters, and it worked really well. No problem. It was keeping it wet was a problem.
Well, that was their problem with this noodle too, I guess, was keeping it
I guess
wet.
it's a new idea for stealth antennas and homeowner association.
There you go.
Noodle. Yeah, they used noodle. And it
The
had to
neatest
lay on
one
the driveway.
The neatest one I saw was they took two cars and they backed them up to each other and they hooked the antenna wire to the two trailer hitches.
We called it a thick dipole.
And it was a thick dipole. I bet it had a great bandwidth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 2-meter Cadillac. But yeah, anyway.
Maybe
Oh
10
come on, that was funny. All right, anyway, you guys.
That's the strange antenna challenge.
Yep.
I
Somebody
like
used
that.
2 tanks as well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've done some crazy
Hold
stuff.
on, guys. I'll be right back.
Uh-oh. I got it. I can't switch the slide
All
forward.
right. Yeah, here, I'll switch the slide for you.
I already talked about that. Man. Gotta modify my handheld to put out
It's just
24/7 power.
AM broadcast transmitter, which is no longer in use.
Yeah, I could do that. Although the goal is to get it on the handheld. You know, there's only like one handheld. I think it's a Yaesu that actually, or maybe it's a Kenwood. I'm not sure. But I was watching a video about it the other day. It's an older radio. It's not made anymore, but it actually can tune the whole HF band. It's like it's a wideband receiver inside a normal handheld, and it can listen to single sideband, Morse code, upper sideband, AM. It can do all of that, and I really want one because, you know, you can having a portable HF receiver. You don't find those very often unless you buy like an actual shortwave receiver. It would be cool to be able to.
It's the Yaesu FT6.
Yaesu FT6.
Are they still making those?
Yeah, I think it's 6 alpha. I had one and I sold it to a guy, but it did tune in HF as well as 2 meters and 70 centimeters.
Was it the VX6R?
No, it wasn't the VX. It was the FT.
FT6?
Yeah, you keep talking. I'll go to my file cabinet and pull up a copy of the manual.
I can't find any reference to it online. I just see VX6R. I don't see any. Oh wait, no, there's just a VX6. I don't see any.
Yeah,
I think that's what you're thinking of. I think you're thinking of the VX6 because it says here it has a wideband reception.
could have had a VX.
I think it was a VX.
Yeah.
Because I think it. Yeah, it can monitor down to 504 kilohertz to 1 gigahertz.
Wow.
And it has an internal ferret rod antenna. So it doesn't actually use the HT antenna, but you can switch it to use the handheld antenna.
Okay, I owe you guys an apology. It's the Kenwood THF6 alpha.
Oh, TH6 alpha. Oh yeah, that's what looks like what Steve Clayton carries around. They're very similar. Oh yeah, I can go down to 10. Wow, I wish they made more radios with this. I can't wait till they make like a software-defined radio handheld that can actually put out like 5 watts and that can just scan everything. Because right now, if you want to do that, you have to use like an RTL SDR and a Android phone, or you have to get a hack RF with a PortaPack or something. They should really make a software to find a handheld or something. I'd pay a lot of money for that.
Well, now ICOM makes a handheld HF receiver, but it's not a transmitter.
See, I gotta have transmit. Like something that I can use as a normal handheld every day, and then if I just happen to want to, I could flip over to the HF bands and listen. Because there's other stuff to listen to beside actual HF things. You know, there's transponders and sort of like the 433 ISM band. There's similar things on 13 megahertz and stuff. There is stuff to listen to down there that's not like doesn't need a giant antenna. Man, I wonder what happened to Ian.
No, I'm still here, actually. I'm checking out. My wife just came to let me know that there's severe weather warnings going all up in Arkansas and Missouri.
Whoa. Oh, yeah, we're supposed to be getting storms too, rolling through here.
Yeah,
and
right
Huntsville.
now there's a tornado, I believe. We see.
I need to watch, I think.
We've got a warning now. We might have one on the ground north of Little Rock, moving northeast.
Wow, up by Madisonville.
You must be in Huntsville.
I am, yeah.
Welcome to Tornado Alley.
I know. We joke about our house. We joke about our backyard facing east-west, so we can see the tornadoes coming.
There you go.
Yeah, we purposely are not going to move into anywhere that's actually in Tornado Alley. We're staying away from there. But yeah, we do get tornadoes down here.
Oh yeah, look at all that lightning.
Yeah, this is a mess up here too, but the worst of it's right here, just north of Little Rock.
Not far from Little Rock, yeah.
I'll put the overlay. Okay, it looks like the warning's back to a watch.
No, you're looking at something else.
There's a warning there.
Yeah, that's a warning.
Kitty, if you get on the keyboard, Kitty, it messes it up for everybody. Look at that.
Yeah, it's not too far from Joplin, Missouri, some of that stuff.
Yeah, a bunch of it just went through Joplin.
Oh.
You reset the screen, Kitty.
They've certainly seen enough there. Oh yeah, there you go.
St. Louis is about to get spanked as well. A little spankage.
Atlanta may see a little of this stuff.
Yeah, it'll come through there eventually. There's a strong rotation indicated by Doppler radar right there, just north of St. Louis.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so I was just letting you guys know, I don't want to take a lot of time with this. This is not a breaking weather news show for St. Louis, Missouri, and Arkansas area. But I just figured I would let you guys know what's going on out there. This has been a Southwest Florida Tech alert.
Anybody that's up in that area.
I'm going to get that breaking news sounder. And I'll have Joseph say into a mic, "This is breaking news."
You know, you need the Weather Channel severe weather theme that they play.
Yeah, as I call it, the warm music.
Every
All
time
they do, they don't do it like they used to. The Weather Channel sucks. They used to be great. There was a time when the Weather Channel was this amazing, amazing thing. And it would be fun. Like when Charlie was coming, they went into storm alert mode and all the graphics changed to red. They went wall to wall, screw the commercials, and they stayed with us all night long. And it was like, oh man, you turn. They were on. We had them on all the TVs. We had Weather Channel, and they had great coverage. They were on there with us all night long. Jim Cantori standing out in the weather for us. Thank you, Jim, and
Yeah.
all that. And guess what? Now they had that category, whatever it was up there that hit category 4 that hit to the left of New Orleans, and 8 hours before it makes landfall, they go to ice road truckers for 4 hours. Screw storm alert mode.
Yeah.
Whatever.
If you want to
Money
hear about the
talks. It's a
hurricane,
lot cheaper to play a rerun of Ice Road Truckers.
if you want to hear about the hurricane, you got to go back the old-fashioned way and turn on WWL in New Orleans.
Well, you know what the response is? Several other people have put up weather channels now.
Yeah.
My parent
That's
company,
good.
Fox, in matter of fact, that I work for the local channel, but the parent company of Fox just put a national weather
Fox
channel up, and I haven't even looked at it yet, but I'm hoping it's better. I love the Weather Channel. I've loved them for years, but I've been very disappointed lately. Anyway, that's all I got there.
On a handbasket.
Joseph, where are we at? You want me to pull up that Beacon website?
Yeah, show that again.
All right, let me get back to this. All right, what this is this is the International Beacon Project. Let me get it back on the screen here. Get over here, F11. There we go. Okay, this is the International Beacon Project. And these are all for this project. Now, understand there's different beacons. Some people have one beacon like Joseph's going to do. So there's other networks of beacons. This is the one I found that I was using a little bit and playing around with earlier. This is the IARU International Beacon Project. And this basically explains in this little gray box here. Each beacon transmits once on each band every 3 minutes. And it's constantly a cycle, and I'll explain that in just a minute. A transmission consists of a call sign of the beacon sent at 22 words a minute, followed by 4 1-second dashes. The call sign in the first dash are sent at 100 watts. The remaining dashes are sent at 10 watts, 1 watt, and 100 milliwatts, like Joseph said earlier. At the end of each 10-second transmission, the beacon steps to the next higher band, and the next beacon in the sequence begins transmitting. This page updates automatically. You just pull this up and leave it on one of your screens.
To see what's coming your way, when to where to tune
like,
to.
You look here, like let's say I want a certain station. If you want the YV5B station, you can go down here. You can find it, YV5B. It's right here. It's on 28.2 right now. And it's going to go silent here in just a second. There we go. It just went silent. Now we're up here. We're working these. Now watch. These are going to go down. They'll go dee 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 dee, and then they go dee 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 dee, something like that. I don't.
Yeah, and you're right.
If you can hear something like, I don't know if you can hear these, but anyway, but you can see here, boom. See how it's moving down? Yeah. This one's now on 14,100. This one's now on 18,110. So you can listen to one frequency. You listen to one frequency. And what you hear is this one at 100, at 10, at 1, at 100 kilowatts. And then immediately it's another one in another part of the world at 100, at 10, at 1. So you can literally sit there on one frequency and just listen to the beacons. And every 3 minutes, it starts over again. So in 3 minutes, you will have heard all the beacons in the world. Is that pretty cool or what?
That's awesome.
I think it's pretty cool. I can't wait to play with this, to be honest with you. I was late getting ready for this, and I haven't had a chance to play with this stuff yet. But this is some neat stuff. Notice those frequencies are working their way down. The box over here on the left changes one way dynamically, and the box on the right changes the other. So that way you can see here all the call signs and where it's at. Over here, you can see the frequencies and what call signs on that frequency. I think it's pretty cool. And if you click on it, it shows you everything about it.
Ham locator. What is this? Oh, maybe is this gonna? It's like an interactive map for the. Oh, what's that? Oh yeah, look in the top right. There's a blue Yagi. Oh wait, never mind. That just moves around. I don't know
have
what
no
this
idea.
is.
I don't know.
Maybe you search for a call sign.
It is proof that the Earth's flat, though.
Oh no! Oh man! Search for type that search box. See if you can search for a call
It's
sign.
also proof that the snow has not melted up at Greenland.
Your email.
You ain't get my email.
I guess you can.
I don't know
Mark.
what this does, dude.
That's strange.
AE3SUN.
Makes one of them things you regret that you clicked on it.
What the hell is this?
But anyway, I wish we could hear one of these. Joseph, can you tune in one of these and see if and let us hear it?
I've been trying.
What's we got? 14.1's gonna be your best bet.
14.100. Let's try that.
14's going to kind of be closing down here, but then
that
again,
would be
14 can stay open all night sometimes. You never know.
Is it coming around here? We got Australia right now. Now it's Japan.
I don't know if it's.
I'm not hearing anything so far. VR, now we're coming from Hong Kong. I would like to hear one of these. What's the other frequency? 18.110?
Yeah.
South Africa.
But that's going to be harder to get.
Well, what band would be best right now?
Well, all these shut off. These are all day bands. At least in this part of the solar cycle.
I wish they had a 40-meter beacon. Oh, wait, you can listen right there. Yep. There you go. Yeah, we heard that.
Yeah, I heard that.
I like that because you get the 4 wattages, you know?
Yeah.
I really like that.
Try that one in the United States.
That's pretty cool. And
That's
if you hear
really
that,
cool.
if you hear that at 100 kilowatts, I mean that's really good.
100 milliwatt, yeah.
100 milliwatt.
Be sitting right next to it.
Well, that's pretty cool. So there we go. That's what they sound like.
You have an idea what they sound like.
Here they come around again. I don't know why they don't have a 40 and an 80.
Yeah, they should. There is allocation for it, so they should have it.
I mean, you guys,
I
know
think they
it's
should have it.
hard to see behind me, but you can see back here on my FT8 screen, 40 is just clogged right now. If I was over there trying to work it, I would probably go try FT4 and see if anybody's over there. I have been finding FT4 activity on 40 and on 17 as well as 20 anytime that the waterfall's really busy. Okay. Anything on beacons? Anybody have any experience with them or have used them or can talk to us about them? Probably know more about them than we do.
Can't say I have.
There is a beacon network of sorts in there that you can transmit to and then hear yourself coming back.
Ooh, that's cool.
That's the reverse beacon network.
Yeah, the reverse beacon. I've never used it. Has anybody used that?
You transmit and then it picks you up. I don't know if it's strictly CW, but yeah, I've thought about using that to test my antennas. But yeah, there is such an animal.
That's pretty
really
cool. I know that I do the same thing with the web SDR.
Yep.
I'll pull up. Utah has I think it's the magenta one. Has a Yagi facing east, and I've heard I can talk and I can hear myself on that one sometimes. So I like to. I'll record. I'll feed it into my computer and record it, and then I can go in and CQ and see if anybody can hear me and see if I can hear myself. The other thing I like to do is go to WebSDR and pipe it into my FT8 on my other computer, and it will come up in red every time I see myself on that FT8 system from my regular FT8 system over here. So that's pretty cool too. So I'll pop up different web SDRs around the world and see if I can hear myself digitally, see if I'm popping up on the thing. So that's
I've done that on voice a couple of times. Last night, I used the web SDR system to hear my friends up in Atlanta because my noise level on 75 is so bad I can't hear them. So I listen on those receivers. There's one in Orlando and there's one in Dahlonega, Georgia. I can use either one of those.
Have you messed with that one in Utah? Because that magenta color one in Utah works really well on 20 and 40 because
I'll have to give that
everything's
a try.
facing back this way.
Yeah.
And it seems to do. That's kind of my favorite web SDR. They've got 4 different receivers, and it seems to work very well. Okay.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I'll give that a try.
yeah. Anybody got anything else on propagation or beacons or any of that?